Okay, today I'm out with my Edgun Leshiy again, 25 caliber, 350 millimeter barrel, and I decided to try 3 dome pellets and 3 hollow points at 72 yards for grins, just to see how accurate they might be. My 50-yard testing for most of these pellets show they can hold around an inch with good follow-through. Some of them slightly less, 3/4 or so. But I just wanted to see if the accuracy would translate to longer distances. I have my target at 72 yards, and I have shot all my groups, and we will go up there and look at them and get some of my thoughts about what's going on. Okay, the conditions today is essentially still, other than every once in a while I get a little bit of a breeze which would push a pellet off. That happened a couple times. But here are the pellets, the dome pellets, the Benjamin Dome, the H&M Barracuda, JSB Kings. And then I went to the hollow points that I had been trying. Barracuda Hunter, Polymag, and H&N Hunter Extreme. Alright, I was holding my dot up on the orange bulls, and for at least to start, this is the drop, and then I started compensating by holding mill dots to make sure I got the groups on the paper. But let's go for the orange circled with your Benjamin Dome. First group circled and 72 yards, 1 3/4 and just under 2 inches. Alright, let's go to the Barracudas next. And once I get showing these groups, I'll go with some of my thoughts. The Barracudas are the heavyweights at 31 grains. Those 4 are at 1.5 inches at 5 2 inches. Down here's the second group of 5. Right there is a hole, and we have about 2 3/4 for those. Next, JSB Kings, 25.39 grains, circle ones are the first group of 5, that's 2 inches. These got a little bit tighter at 1.5 inches. Okay, let's go to the hollow points. Barracuda Hunter, which has the traditional hollow point tip. These square circle ones. This is where I had, actually the pellet went in crooked, and when it shot you could see it spiral about 4 inches. So let's see, 1 2 3 4, but still a pretty good group, about 1.25 inches. And here's the second group. 3 of them went within 1/2 inch, and these 2 went out. I had a little trouble with at least one of those going in a little crooked and a little bit of breeze on a shot. These are showing promise. I might want to try them again. Next, the Predator Polymags, and those are circled in yellow. And these did pretty good. 1 2 3 4 5, 1.5 inches. And the upper group, 1 2 3 4, not as good, and 2.5. Now some of these were fired after I went up and down the hill, which I got a fairly steep hill, so my heart rate is a little bit up. And lastly, the Hunter Extremes. Not real good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 3 inches. And I think this last group was after I hiked up and down the hill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's 3.5. Now, the point I wanted to make, sort of after firing these, I saw the impact of if you didn't get a pellet seated straight into the lands and grooves. And I would think that Ed would want to cut a little lead into his barrels so that would help with the alignment of these pellets when you put them in. The dome pellets, which these first two here have the harder lead, that makes them even harder to insert into the lands, which are right there at the entry of the barrel. Kings go in fairly easy because they're softer lead. And the domes, I mean, in the hollow points, you know, sometimes they went in easy, sometimes they didn't. But so I would think cutting some free bore or lead, whatever you want to call it, and maybe just have it cut to where your pellets, when you insert them, would just start to bite into the lands of the barrel, might be a good idea. The other thought I had was, actually I had a week or so ago, I think you call it Slug the barrel. I inserted a pellet into the lands and pushed it out and measured the head diameter. But the Leshiy might benefit from sizing pellets. You could determine a good pellet head size for your pellets and then size them so they would fit easier, just engaging the lands a thousandths or so. Might be also a good strategy for uniformity and shooting your pellets and getting them more accurate. So what I'm going to do is set up a couple targets with some of these pellets that are promising. I'm not saying that the Leshiy is a 70+ yard gun, but if I can get some pellets to shoot under 1.5 inches, then it might make more viable for shooting some critters at that distance. I was particularly interested in the hollow points and squirrels, because where I hunt, a lot of the shots are beyond 40 and 50 yards. I got a couple locations, one that a lot of shots are 50 yards and beyond, and then the other location where the brush is a little bit heavier. Most of them are under 50, but I wanted to see what my gun was capable of at longer distances before I go out in the woods trying for gray squirrels. Okay, here's 2 of the 3 pellets. I'm trying again that were show promise for longer range accuracy. 3 groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. 2, 3, 4, 5 JSB Kings. That for 4 3/4 inch. There's 1.5 inches. Who knows why these opened up. So think about the best you could hope for these is 1 inch at 70 yards, and this is off the bench too, so but that's not bad. And zoom in a bit, and these are the H&M Barracuda Hunters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 to 5 at 2 inches. 3, 4, 5, 2.5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure if this is the 5th or I didn't shoot one or there's 2 in a hole, but that's 1 inch. And looking at these, they probably more average about 1.5 inches. So far the JSB are the kings, or the winners. The JSB are the easiest to insert into the breech of the Leshiy. So I don't know if that contributes to the accuracy, because you don't get them crook-eyed in there. And the hunters go in with a little bit of resistance, so that may contribute to the accuracy or lack thereof. So I got one more pellet, the Predator Polymag. We'll try them, see what they do, and then I'll come with my conclusions. Okay, the last pellet I tried were the Predator Polymags at 72 yards, and where they're a fairly uniform pellets. There's four grouped with a flyer. More than likely that was me. I could feel one of them going out. This opened up for some reason. That's 1.5 inches, about 1 inch. Not bad, but I think in general for long distance, at least for me, the Leshiy for smaller targets like pigeons and squirrels, about 50 yards is a max. I might go a little bit farther for pigeons. I think it has accuracy for rabbits, because rabbits doesn't take much to kill them, and they got a larger kill zone. But I think the Leshiy would benefit with having a little bit of lead cut into the barrel, or maybe try sizing some pellets. The Predators insert fairly easily. The JSB Kings insert fairly easy. The other pellets I tried were from slightly tight to very tight. And anytime you get them in cockwise, you know, they're gonna not fly straight because they're gonna be unbalanced. So yeah, you know, I'd like to hear what other people have as far as shooting the Leshiy at long distance and what their thoughts are, and whether or not they've even tried sizing pellets in the Leshiy. So that's my testing at so-called long distance, at least what I have here at my home property, which is 72 yards. So that's it. Thanks.